It's funny that this house has become a focal point now of this seeking. I moved here right down the street from here 43 years ago at the age of 12. And ever since I first saw it, this house has kind of had this magnetic pull on my heart for some reason. It just has always really spoken to me. And so I feel that this is a strange kind of full circle. Have some good food for you. I made this nice little structure. I fully did not expect this. Only part of this is here. And they did it without disturbing this, it looks like. Only part of this is here. Music Man? You here? Well, if you came and got this, you didn't leave any tracks in the heavy pine needle covering. Well, I hope you liked the treats if you took them. A kind of an odd thing is that that I can see not a single kernel of popcorn or even any dust, you know. Somebody was thorough. to get such a pristine recording, it really took a perfect storm of circumstances. The recorder worked. There were no insect noises. There were no bird calls. It was warm enough so that there wasn't a lot of condensation on the leaves that then drips down, which often happens. There was no wind. It rained a little later in the evening, but not then. He decided to take the food. He decided to stay and eat it there instead of taking it off. He even decided to move it closer to the microphone, on the microphone side of the structure where he got it from. And this is the size of the bag. It's little, and yet it took more than half an hour for him to work through the pieces of popcorn, seemingly one at a time, or very few, because this is a little nibbling. So quite the opposite of being some sort of voracious creature that would wolf down food. He was really meticulous and took his sweet time. It's incredible. And he stayed right there the whole time. I don't know if he was sitting on the ground underneath the microphone on the tree branch, or if he was standing up. I mean, it's so clear, the sounds that we get. It seems like he'd be standing up. But, you know, I boosted the volume, as I always do, in the audio file, so he could have been sitting down and still given us so much clarity. Of course, when I listened to it the first time, I was searching for reasons to rule out what I hoped it was. I was, you know, using the critical thinking, trying to hear raccoon chatter, little rodent noises, because the way that the popcorn pieces are being chewed on, it sounds like it could be a rodent, like, you know, crunch, 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 crunch. But then the breathing, the sniffing, is obviously that of a larger organism. You know how it goes. So you combine those two, and it's not going to be a deer, it's not going to be a bear chewing like that. So it's important to listen for what didn't happen, what we don't hear on the recording. And then, of course, you add in the percussion. So I'm sincerely excited. I certainly have never gotten anything as intimate as this. It's the little things that I'm finding myself focusing on in terms of Sasquatch learning, in terms of being a student of what it is like to listen in and understand the reality of the Sasquatch. The little things, like little tapping, little drum riffs. And 2 years ago, in the video Morning Visits 2014, I heard shaking, like a sheepdog shaking, but associated with wood knocks. So I think that was pretty intimate. But this really takes the cake. The same kind of unhurried, leisurely approach to eating this bag of popcorn, or one just like it, is mirrored in what I've been finding out about how they will just let time go by, and then they'll make a couple knocks. Then a few minutes or over an hour later, they'll make more knocks. And I don't know if they sleep in between. I'm sure it's, you know, different for different circumstances, but it's just a kind of a low-key aspect to them that runs so counter to what most people probably imagine their life would be like. You know, roaming the forests and, you know, marauding and just generally being monsters. I see them as very kind of detail-oriented and focused. He, or possibly she, was around in the immediate vicinity for 6 hours before finally deciding to make the move. So here we have the audio file, and there were a whole lot more percussion events before he finally decided to make the grab at 2:02 in the morning. And these started at 7:57. But the subtler ones I've left out. I'm just giving the more impressive ones. And you'll recognize the signature, the drumming riff signature that we've come to associate, or I have anyway, with Music Man. So it's not for sure that it's the same individual. Others may have learned from him, or there might be a group behavior. But I'm kind of banking on it. And now he finally makes the grab for the popcorn bag after kind of casing the situation for more than 6 hours. After the whole eating sequence is done, at 2:03 we get the beginning of more percussions that last all the way till, let's see, they last all the way up until 5:50, which is full dawn, full morning light, and is only 40 minutes before I arrive to retrieve the recorder. Now then, after the whole eating sequence is done, we get the beginning of more percussions that last all the way till 5:50, which is full dawn, full morning light, and is only 40 minutes before I arrive to retrieve the recorder.